Now, you're very welcome back to the show. Next Monday, would you believe it, Maura, is St. Brigid's Day, when all around the country we celebrate one of our patron saints. But do you remember the night before, Maura, we used to make St. Brigid's Cross?
Yes, and I suppose different traditions around the country is in making St. Brigid's Cross and the different types of crosses. So today, because a lot more people of you guys are at home, so we thought we'd encourage you to make them yourselves and, of course, to help us talk us through them and give us a step-by-step knowledge, I suppose, in our workshop is our resident folklorist, Shane Lahan. Shane, we can't believe, as Doyle and I were just chatting earlier on, going, you're almost like, people say the first day of spring is Brigid's Day. We said the minute we see you coming in, we know it's spring again. We talk about this every year, but St. Brigid, I suppose, before we talk about the crosses, tell us a little bit about our patron saint.
Well, you know, she's by far the most important female goddess, we call her, because long before Christianity was there, Brigid was there, as we all know. And I suppose we associate her with birth and life and bringing new things into the world. And I think about that now, as we're saying about things, how they repeat and how we've looked at Brigid's Day before. I would hope that when we make a cross today, and maybe people at home will make a cross over the weekend, on Sunday night, they'll make the cross, that we might look at that as a point that maybe in 12 months' time, with all the trouble we've had, maybe next Brigid's Cross, that'll be behind us.
Because I still have the Brigid's Cross from last year still up there. And you take that one down, don't you, and put up the new one?
You don't, Dahi. Funnily enough, long ago, when they had the
I remember them in the old houses.
Yeah. So a new generation would come on. The house would be all cleaned up. The new woman would come into the house. You'd make the Brigid's Cross on Brigid's Day. You'd put it up over the doorway into the scrawl, just into the thatch above the door. And that would be left there. The next year, you put the next cross, and you often aged how old a house was by the number of Brigid's crosses that were there. It's incredible. And you know, you could have 30, 40 crosses. Now, every now and again, as I said, a new generation, they pull them all down. There was a new beginning again with a new group coming in. But what I think is important as well to stress, you know, about Brigid, and particularly the cross, that we have the idea from the RTE cross, okay?
Yeah, that's right.
You're partially responsible for the cross that we have. But if you go to the museum collections, we have an incredible collection of crosses in the museum. Not many of them look like a cross at all. This is one of my favourites, okay?
This is a triangle.
It is. We call it the Triskel cross, which is a lovely sort of name.
Triskel, of course.
But it's actually this shape in the centre which is important. And quite often, like this one as well,
I've seen that one before.
The lozenge. It's the centre of the cross that's important.
But would they be from different parts of the country, Shane, or would they be from different eras?
You would have had local traditions as well, and many people would have inherited the way to make it from the different areas, you're quite right. But always and ever, this central lozenge shape, quite often you can have crosses with 20 or 30 lozenges on them.
Why 20 or 30? Would they be there for certain people, or?
Yeah, I think it's more to do with the shape. First of all, has long been associated with the female. That lozenge shape. It's often, there's a wonderful scholar, Maria Gimbutas. She talks about the lozenge being the symbol of the womb, or sometimes the symbol of the vulva. So the new birth, new beginning, everything about this period of time is birth. And when we're talking about the crosses at the moment, I'll tell you about all the associations with Brigid and birth and giving birth, for example.
Yeah, because even when you went out in the biddy years ago, you'd have a baby with you, wouldn't you?
This is the biddy here I have, isn't it?
That's the Bridog.
The Bridog,
yeah. And you know, she was made, funnily enough, from the last sheaf of the harvest. And I brought one in for you. So this was the Kyloch. This was the very last sheaf. And what happened is that they would have planted this, they would have kept it, the seed would have been kept on it. And then when they made the Bridog, she'd have been made from the Kyloch, because the Bridog is now the young Brigid, or the young bride. She's gone from the old hag, the infertile, to the fertile.
Okay.
So this is the seed then, the first seed that was sown from Brigid's
It's all symbols, Shane, isn't it?
Oh, listen.
The continuation of life, really, isn't it?
It's the cycle of life, the continuation of life. We go from taking the seed, replanting it now, from between Brigid's Day and Paddy's Day is the day for ploughing the ground, is the day for planting the seed.
But this is for luck as well, though, Shane, was it? In real terms?
Oh God, yeah. You had to guarantee. Everyone used every bit of magic, we might call it, or every totem and every amulet that you had to ensure. The Brigid's Cross in particular as well made sure that the house wouldn't go on fire. And if people didn't put up their Brigid's Cross, they wouldn't feel safe at all. So making the Brigid's Cross was a major. But let me tell you this: there was a long ritual, and when people now, like I would hope people might go out and get some rushes. Now,
Okay, is that what we need first? Rushes. Oh, where would they get them? Just
rushes
locally?
are hard to come by, and of course there's always health and safety. I don't want any children falling into streams or
No.
But if
parents
you're in the country, it might be easier.
getting bogged
And you
down
know,
and so on.
I told you, Shane, I made one of these during the summer because when you pass these, Maura, I can't but make a St. Bridget's Cross.
Well,
It's a force of
So
habit.
Dolly, you're starting there now.
Yeah.
Shane, step by step, we'll look at you,
Okay,
you, Shane, and we'll follow
normally
Shane.
what I would do is, if they don't have rushes, let people be imaginative. Cut up old cardboard boxes.
Yeah.
Get out bits of paper. There might be in your grandfather's drawer.
You
there
could
might
probably
be
even do it with a
pipe
piece of
cleaners.
rope or something, I'd say.
Yeah, you know, I've had students make them out of beautiful pieces of textile. So, you know,
Stunning.
wouldn't it be great if people sent in photographs of the crosses that they make?
Brilliant.
But to start the cross, I take one, I call it the big fat rush, okay? And all the other rushes are going to be bent from here on in. So one is kept straight. I just bend one over in that way, okay? So that's the most difficult part of the whole construction to begin with. After that, I just literally then begin to, I'll have to turn it around. I'm trying to make sure that people can see what I'm doing now. But I'm going to bend this over and bring it down. I call it 6 o'clock, okay?
Okay, down to 6 o'clock.
6
That's simple enough,
okay?
yeah.
Right? Holding that one in place. So it's a bit tricky in the
You
beginning.
have
So
3
once you
o'clock,
get there-
6 o'clock.
So yeah, 3 o'clock. Going over to 9 o'clock now. Okay.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yes.
So I'm holding the 9 o'clock. I turn it, okay, it's because it's easier for me to do. And then I continue again, keep on bending over in the center. So
And keep
as-
going around to facilitate
Exactly.
yourself. Okay.
So that's what I'm going to
You
do
gave me
now.
the wonky one, Shane. You gave me the wonky rush.
Listen, I knew Dahi would be competitive, so I tried to
well,
do his
John.
his
And actually,
rushes.
Shane, the way you're continuing turning it, you realise, and it's almost like when you're plaiting hair, that
Yeah.
you are not going to double rushes in any one part.
No.
You're going to continue to moving
And
them around.
you have to be a little bit dexterous, and you have to put them down to the side all of the time. So I keep on, and the one I always say, that's loose now, so I turn it and I hold the loose rush. So that ties in the former one. Now here again, I tie in the loose rush, and you can see it building up. And as you build it, it gets stronger. But what was really interesting was this. In the past, there was a whole ritual behind making these crosses. The man in the house would have gone out, he would have found the rushes, he would have cut them, or he would have taken the sheaf, and he would have put it at the front door, on the threshold. The youngest girl in the house, or indeed someone who was called Brigid, and there was always someone in Ireland.
My mother's British.
Yeah,
Bridgie, like
yeah.
Bridget,
Bridgie.
yeah.
And
You're
I-
Bridgie.
Hello,
Yeah.
Bridget.
I had a lovely Auntie Bridie who.
And on the other side, my father, there was a Bridie.
We know breeds.
We
No.
and my Auntie Biddy, who was born on Bridget's Day on the 1st of
Lovely.
February, and look,
Right.
and we had an Auntie Mary as well. But if you were called Bridget, your job was to go out, collect the rushes,
I must ask Mom about
pick,
this. Yeah.
pick them up, circumambulate, walk around the house 3 times, okay, and in Daishel, in a clockwise direction,
Oh, yeah.
knock on the door. They would open the door.
Yeah.
They would welcome her in. You were welcome,
Yeah.
and they were bringing in the young Bridget. But what happened then is she would place the rushes down on the ground, and that was called the Labba breed.
Oh.
Now, the Labba breed was a really important part of the tradition. People would make the rushes eventually from the Labba breed, but what was happening was that it was also in case the Blessed Bridie wanted to take a rest. If she was wandering around the countryside, as it were, she could come in and have a rest. But equally, it was a bed associated in Ireland with Irish birthing traditions, because the Labba breed was, when women gave birth in Ireland long ago, they didn't give birth with their legs up in stirrups, they gave birth on all fours. And you put the straw or the Labba breed under them. And there's that lovely expression in Irish, Oniha hit McCown or on top. From the night my head hit the sop. From the night my head hit Bridget's
Second I was
bed.
born, like.
So the point about making the Bridget's bed,
Yeah.
and interestingly, to build on that, people also then associated with birth, they put a little piece of material out, and it was the broth breed.
Yeah.
Bridget.
This is very important because this works, Shane.
Absolutely.
This works.
I-
This
Yeah.
basically, you put it out
Yeah.
and the dew would fall on it, isn't it?
That was it, and that
But
was
if you do a toothache or anything to fix it,
you brought that in, any pains or
Yeah.
aches whatsoever, rheumatism, arthritis, the whole lot, but particularly pains associated with women. So you had all the menstrual
Menstrual
cramps and so on.
issues, yeah.
But specifically then, if somebody was giving birth, the broth breed would be brought out. Women would rely entirely
Yeah.
on having that to cool them
Shane,
down.
do you know what? Of
Shane,
course, we've run out
we'll
of
be here
time.
all
I'm
day.
just going to hold on to this.
I've
this
invented
here.
a new one over here, Shane.
That's the new one. It's called a prashuk. Anyway, I
Cheers,
don't know what
actually,
it's what that is.
yeah, I think that's good.
Prashuk is the word for that.
That-
Mess.
There we have it there. You can see it, lads. Yeah, you can see it there. Yeah, there.
Yeah, I just
Anyway,
So
move the camera over here to the real one that I'm holding in my
I'll
hand.
put it down here
See,
now.
so Shane's basic. So then you cut it and secure it,
Yeah.
just for people
Yeah.
at home, just to finish. You secure it there with some
and
twine
you,
or
t-
something.
you, tie,
Lovely
you
wax
tie,
twine, yeah.
tie the string there
And cut
and
it.
cut it off. And listen, if everyone made one of those, wouldn't it be great?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
People are homeschooling and everything
Yeah.
at the moment. But don't forget to put out the broth Brigid Sunday night.
That's
Very
it.
important.
Good idea. Anything that you have, just a piece of
Yeah,
cloth.
put out a piece of cloth.
Or a ribbon will do the job.
A ribbon will do the
Really.
job.
Shane,
Shane,
you're a
thank
real
you.
man. It's so great to see you as always.
We'll probably see you
Thank
for St. Patrick's Day.
We'll be
You
doing
certainly
something
will.
on
And
Valentine's,
Easter.
you never know.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, Valentine's is before
There must be
that.
some good folklore stories.
Oh, there are.
We'll see you there.
Gurmila Shane. Now, still to come today.